Hi, my name is Tommy DeVries, and you're watching the Tommy DeVlog. This is the channel where I talk about my life, my career, lessons learned, and then I try to share some of those lessons learned with you guys. So let's get into the last couple weeks because I did miss an episode last week. Good on, mate. How you going? I'm good. What do you got going on here? It's a vlog about my. Can I be in it? Well, it's kind of a personal. Ah, come on, mate. Just say kick the intro. Kick the intro. Awesome. My Aussie friends are all gonna be so disappointed in me for that one. All right, thanks for returning to the Tommy DeVlog. First things first, this is a vlog, so part of it's gonna be my life story. However, if you are interested in just skipping over to the lesson content, there are timestamps in the description, and you can skip past the life update if you want and go straight to the lesson. But it is my vlog, and I'm gonna talk about my life first, so here we go. Again, thank you to everybody for supporting the channel. If you need a reminder on how to support the vlog, like, comment, subscribe, share. 4 easy things to do. They're free. They help out a lot. But honestly, you guys just watching and giving me feedback is enough. I really appreciate it. So yeah, it's been 2 weeks since the last episode. Really sorry for missing one last week. And I know for some of the folks who stay in touch with the channel, I did kind of put out on the social medias that I was gonna do an episode like mid last week after the Sunday that I would usually post, like sometime midweek. And I didn't. Things just got way too busy. A lot of time with family, a lot of auditions came in. I really wanted to, but I was also getting very, very burnt out. And kind of like I was talking in the last video, I needed to start prioritizing some self-care things, get some downtime in, watch some TV, try to catch up on sleep, still doing all the work on all the auditions that I had to do. So I stayed up to date in a professional capacity. The nice to haves, the things that I like to do but weren't necessary, had to sort of take the wayside. But that's okay, because now I'm back, and I promise I will still consistently post content to this channel, especially into 2024, where I have a lot of things and a lot of lessons that I want to talk about, especially after I've gotten so much feedback on the vlog. Some of the videos that I've been posting have been helping people orient themselves on this industry from a perspective such as mine. So I want to keep doing that. A lot of people have asked about the big audition that I had submitted a couple weeks ago, the one that I got coached on, the one that was for a really big guest star role. I ended up not hearing back from the casting team, which is, typical in the industry. If you are not being considered, they're just not going to get in touch with you unless they had been eyeing you for it and were talking with you about it, and then ultimately ended up going with somebody else. And there were no other rounds of callbacks for this audition, so it was just send up what I had, and then I would either hear back that I was cast or not. And to be quite honest, I'm not bummed about it at all. I mean, it was the most important audition that I have done in my life so far. It was probably the most work that I'd put into an audition, especially that quickly. And I was very proud of it, especially after getting it coached and having a lot of people that I really trusted look at it. And not hearing back and not getting the role, is that a bummer? Sure. But the thing that I'm staying focused on is that two things. One, I got a guest star audition for a network. I mean, people somewhere think that I have the chops to audition for that type of content. I mean, that in and of itself is a very validating thing. And secondly, I got my audition tape in front of a very solid casting agency, and now they are aware of who I am. And I am sure I will see some stuff from them in the new year. And once I become a repeat offender for their auditions, I have no doubt that something will pan out sooner or later. So thank you for all those who supported me through that process, who reached out to me asking how it went, and were very encouraging with feedback or just putting good vibes out into the universe. That means the world. And you know what? That was okay, because after that audition went out, I ended up getting 5 more in the last week, and I just cranked them and cranked them and cranked them, dropped the pins, set them up, move forward, just keep going, keep submitting something. It's a numbers game. Things will pan out eventually. And I also got to help others on their auditions, which is what I love doing up in this city. I'm in a lot of acting classes. I've met a lot of people over the course of the last year up here in LA. And it's really great when people reach out to me for coming to my apartment to help shoot, because I have some pretty good equipment and editing software, or they like reading with me, or I can help coach on something that they're working on. That is always a blessing when I have friends reaching out to me, asking to read for them or help them audition something. It lets me know that I am contributing valuably to my network. Had my son's Christmas pageant last week. That was incredible. My son Henry is 3 years old, and his preschool was doing a Christmas pageant where all the students performed in, group ensembles and poems and songs, and my son got to do a poem, I'm a Little Star, and he got to sing a solo and duet of Silent Night. I posted some of the videos to social media, But when I tell you that every time I watch those things, my heart just kind of falls apart. Watching my son grow up and watching him love school and love his family and make friends and develop has quite frankly been the most rewarding thing of my entire life. And for those of you that know the Hen Dude, you know how special he is and how talented and charismatic and enthusiastic he is about things. And I couldn't imagine a better son. So if anybody wants to see more videos of that pageant, hit me up, I got plenty. Class is finally finished for 2023, so there's been like a very nice break, and that could not come at a better time because the auditions are just flooding in for the holiday season and for the new year. So not having to study pages and pages of sides for class on top of auditions and on top of other stuff, like, welcome reprieve. But those things will kick back up in 2024, and I got some amazing classes lined up for the new year, especially this one professional class that I'm gonna be in that I know is gonna be a very game-changing group to be a part of. I had kind of a crappy audition this week too. You know, it was a Zoom audition, which those are kicking back up, like the Zoom auditions and the in-person auditions. Not callback, like audition, just initial rounds. So there was no self-tape, there was no initial Zoom as well or anything like that, or a pre-screen or anything. It was just dial in Zoom, it was very quick, a few minutes, and then it was off. And, you know, not to get into too many details, because it's hard to explain. I don't want to say it was necessarily a bad audition. It just was one where I felt off. You know, casting directors will give feedback, because casting directors, I think regardless of what actors or anybody in the industry says, casting directors are our friend. They want to help us actors in getting the best material out there and sent up to the people who are ultimately going to make the choices of who gets cast. So, you know, I'm going into this audition and every round I was just getting edits to my performance and too much, too less, all that kind of stuff. It was a very subtle audition. If you know Tommy DeVries, you know subtlety is maybe not my forte, but you know, I tried. I gave it my best shot. And I just kept getting feedback that kind of made me feel like I was missing the mark. And I knew the casting director was just trying to help me. And then when I logged off, I was like, you know what, I know I didn't get that, and I know I wasn't just quite nailing it, which feels like meh, but at the same time, you know, it was a good lesson. Like going into an audition and preparing things several ways and knowing that if subtlety is not your forte, then you really gotta figure out a way to cover those gaps that you have. And then when the casting director is giving you feedback, to really pay extra attention to it so that it doesn't feel like a crappy audition. You know, and I'm not saying I sandbagged it or mailed it in or anything like that. Like, I gave it my best shot. And I think at the very end of the day, like, the casting director will know I was at least paying attention and I was trying. But you know, you train for these kind of things and you hope that camera flicks on, you would have been able to give it what you had. And when you don't, it kind of feels like meh. But I'm gonna choose to take that as a lesson learned, you know? Small lesson learned. Not a really big thing that's gonna cripple me or anything like that. But anyways, that's it for the personal updates, I guess. Very busy week, even with the holidays coming up. Next week, it's still gonna be a very busy month of December into the new year. But today, the big thing that I wanted to talk about, because it's a topic that's kind of come up a lot lately, is having a website. Every time I meet people out in town, you know, I give them a business card. On the business card, it has the links to my socials, my email, my phone number, and it takes you to my website. And I try to get people going to the website as much as possible because it is the collection of literally everything that I have. All of my materials and content, all of my profiles, all of the information that I have. It's kind of like the one-stop shop for Tommy DeVries. And before getting into this industry, like I had funny story, I'd had TommyDeVries.com as a domain registered with like GoDaddy for years. And then I like defaulted on a payment or something. I just stopped paying it or the credit card ran out or whatever. And somebody scooped that up. And when I tried to go get the domain back, I learned it would cost me probably somewhere along the neighborhood of $3,000 to $5,000 to get it back from that person. So I said, you know what, TommyDeVries.com, not that necessary. I'm gonna go get a Linktree. So I did, I got a Linktree. And Linktree, I think right now, is the industry standard for entertainment or for content creation. And it's something that I would encourage a bunch of actors or a bunch of people who are looking to get into entertainment to build yourself a Linktree starting now and refine it over the months and the years so that by the time you're ready to start passing out that link, you already have the domain registered, you already have all of your links set up and optimized, and it's ready to bounce. The first step is registering for one. So go to Linktree and just Linktree / your name. I got in when Tommy DeVries was still available. So it's Linktree / Tommy DeVries is the domain. You know, if you have a name like John Smith, you might have to do Linktree / John Smith Official or whatever. That's okay. Just something that can be your brand so that as you're passing it around, it makes sense. And if somebody was like, I want to go find John Smith on Linktree, and they were to Google John Smith Linktree actor, you would pop up, and then it'd be easy for them to find and then get to your website and start perusing through your content. So what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna switch over to a screen view where you can see my Linktree, and I'm gonna kind of narrate through all of that so that you can get a feel for what my Linktree looks like. I've got a lot of good feedback on my Linktree, so I feel comfortable sharing it, saying this is a pretty good standard of how to start. I'll click on some of the links. Yeah, so let's just get into that. All right, everybody, so this is my website, okay? Up at the top, you see it's got a very simple hyperlink, Linktree/Tommy DeVries. And on it, you have a very simplified list of everything that I have, right? I have my headshot, I have my name, I have my description, actor, writer, vlogger, veteran, and then I have 3 sections where I break down everything on my website. I have content, I have profiles, and I have my information. In the first section, I got content. It's a very, image and video based industry. So I have the link to my Instagram, which when I click that, boom, it pops up. And that's usually where I want people going first, is to my Instagram to see lots of my photos and my vlog and my headshots and clips and stuff like that. I have my acting clips, which is another thing I want casting directors and people who are interested in hiring me. So it takes them to my YouTube where I have different clips that I've put up. Clips are all listed. Very, very useful for getting people to see what I can do beyond my Instagram. I have the devlog here, which you're obviously watching, and you can set up YouTube videos so that they play in the website, or you can have them click and go to the most recent video that you've done. And then finally my headshots. So I have 2 galleries and 2 different types. So with 2 different headshot photographers. I have my scruffy headshots, which were taken with Nogan Beck, takes them to a gallery that has just all of my selects here. And then I have the clean cut versions. So it takes it to a gallery with some of my favorites for the clean cut Tommy, right? And that's my content. On the profiles, we don't have to go through every one of these, but basically if people want to see my resumes or what I've been in, or they're interested in actually casting me and want to send me something on these acting profiles, I have all of this stuff right here. I have my IMDb, which takes them to my IMDb. I'll probably do a class one day on how to work with IMDb Pro, so you can set up a thumbnail, set up your descriptions, all your headshots and videos and all that jazz. And then for instance, like Actors Access, it'll take them to my resume, so they can see what I've been in, and then if they're interested in casting me, they can look me up on breakdowns. After that, I have the rest of my info. This is kind of like the miscellaneous section. When I was working with ReelArc, the company that shot my reels, they also worked on my brand with me. So I have this brand book here, which is kind of like a brand description of who I am, who Tommy DeVries is, and this is what I was showing agents and managers before I signed them. I am gonna go over this in more detail when I talk about ReelArc, probably sometime in the new year. This product right here is something I'm really proud of, and I can't wait to share it with you guys in more detail. Contact card, so if somebody looks me up on their phone, they can save me a resume. So I just updated this today. Actually, it's just a PDF version of my resume. So if they don't want to get it off the casting profiles, they can just get a PDF right here. And then finally, a little Easter egg here. Yes, the D is lowercase. Everybody always asks in my name, is DeVries lowercase d? Yes, it is. And here is a history of the name DeVries on Wikipedia. So anyways, yeah, that is Linktree. It is something that I've noticed almost all people have in the entertainment industry. If you don't have your own personally customized and crafted website, you're gonna have a Linktree, and it's gonna be the simplest way of compiling all of your stuff. You can pay for the pro version, which I do, and it makes it so the analytics are better to track, and you can get rid of watermarks and logos and stuff. It makes it look a bit more professional, and I'm gonna recommend that anything that makes you look professional, you spend a little extra cheddar for. But at the end of the day, it is free, and it is a resource that is going to pay dividends for you, especially when people start looking for you. So consider getting it. If you have any questions on how to set up your Linktree or any of the resources I used as a reference for setting up my Linktree, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll shoot you those links. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, I really appreciate it. Like I mentioned at the beginning, please like the video if you enjoyed this content, if you want to see more. Leaving a comment, anything that you saw here that you liked. If you can't think of a comment to leave, just put the word Linktree in the comments. Share this video if you know anybody that's looking to build a website and would kind of like some tips and tricks. And hit that subscribe button, all right? Every subscriber that I have helps me on my goal to get this information out to more people. I do really appreciate your support and the fact that you continue to come back and stay all the way to the end of these videos. But yeah, that's it for the Tommy DeVlog. I definitely learned something today. I hope you did too. Stay tuned for the next episode, and until then, take care.